Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to a new list. Today we are looking at the top 5 free agents on Football Manager, especially after the winter update. So first off, we have got Alex Texera, the former Shakhtar and Jiangsu man, now a free agent, an attacking midfielder, winger, striker, positioning, 30 years old, so he is getting on to the latter stages of his career, but a very, very good player to have. 16 technique, 16 dribbling and first touch. I mean, he could definitely come into a lot of Premier League squads and that alike, so the top leagues in Europe, there's no doubt about that. Even as we know, he was wanted by a lot of teams before him leaving Shakhtar to go off to China, and he's obviously performed quite well out there, but with the Chinese cuts going on, there are players leaving there and they are now free agents, so Alex Texera is number 1. Next up, we have one of the angriest men in football. That's Diego Acosta, the former Atletico Madrid player and Chelsea. A big strong man up front, can do the job for you, certainly. A 15 finishing isn't bad at all. Obviously, he's a very aggressive player, but works very hard as well. I'm surprised that he did leave Atletico. I mean, they did bring in Suarez, so it's not a bad replacement, especially considering they've won the league. But I'm sure he's gutted he's missed out on that. But a player definitely worth bringing in. He's also Brazilian as well, with his nationality kind of switching over, having played for Spain. So, I mean, he could end up going back to Brazil at some point if you fancy a Brazilian save. But a player that can, again, go into a lot of Premier League teams. Certainly worth having as a backup, if not first choice. A great looking player. Next we have a centre half, Ezekiel Gary, 33 years old, so again the older end of the spectrum, but with heading and marking at 16 and tackling and penalty taking even at 15. He's a very, very good player to have. Again, maybe a player more as a backup. If you've got a few young players in the squad that you know of in your team, try and get him in the first year. He'll be able to kind of coach him through, and with some good mental stats like 17 positioning, 15 composure and 15 concentration. Some great stuff for centre half, along with that anticipation he's got there. Obviously formerly of Valencia most recently, but played for Zenit, Benfica, and even was at Real Madrid for a little time as well. A player that is very, very good to see, and with that experience, having played 32 caps for Argentina, I'd say is a pretty good signing. Then we have Daniel Sturridge, the former Liverpool striker, who is well known for being in that incredible partnership with Suarez and Sterling. He's formerly of Trabzonspor, having only played 11 games there. He was then released. There were some issues legally, I believe, with regards to betting or something like that, but if you want to have a look at that, have a look for it. I'm not entirely sure exactly what's going on there, but he's still available on the game. 16 technique and 16 composure are obviously very, very nice. For a lower league, Premier League or Championship team, a good signing. I mean, he's 30 years old, so it wouldn't be a long-term thing, but if you're in a rush to get a backup striker, maybe someone who's not too bad at coming in, obviously very strong as left foot, can even maybe play just behind the striker in those positions if needed. Having played for England, he's got that experience, and 15 finishing isn't bad for a backup striker. Finally, we do have another former Liverpool player, and that is Martin Skirtle, the centre half, playing formerly in Turkey, along with Italy, and obviously with England as well there. A very good player. I mean, if you look at the heading, the tackling, if you want a no-nonsense centre-half, he is the guy for you. He's not amazing on the ball, not amazing going forward either. Like, corners, crossing obviously aren't that great. Dribbling and finishing aren't good, but you don't need that in a centre-half. You need him to be able to head the ball and tackle the ball, which he's got in abundance, and with fantastic mentals as well, similarly to Gary that we spoke of earlier. A player that is certainly someone you should bring in to kind of coach other young centre-halves or support them in that. With 104 caps, he's got enough experience in the bag. He's lacking on the physicals a little bit with regards to like acceleration and pace, but otherwise he's very strong and naturally fit. So he will still, I reckon you could still keep him around for 1 or 2 more seasons. So a player that, again, maybe a backup to your starting centre halves, and especially if you've got some young players in the squad that you want to learn from. And with the stats he's got on his mentals especially, it's certainly a player to look into. But I hope you did enjoy. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let me know if you found any more free agents that are especially good on the game, and I'll mention them in another video. But thanks very much for watching.